The mist clings to the trees, and the world feels like it's been wrapped in a cozy blanket. In today's episode, we're finishing up on some of the last garden tasks before preparing for winter, here in the Midlands of Sweden. There's something so peaceful about these autumn mornings. The cool air, the soft fog rolling over the fields, and of course, the quiet rhythm of the garden winding down for the year. October settled in, and today we've got quite a lot to get done. For starters, I want to fill in this gap with a perennial that I'm about to divide and move here. You always want to start with digging the hole where you plan to place your perennial before you divide it. That way, the plant stays in soil for as long as possible, and you provide it with the best conditions to help it adapt to its new home. This is the perfect time of year to divide and replant perennials, especially those that have started to get a little too crowded, like this great burnet. It's toppling over because it's just gotten too large for the space. So I'm going to divide it and pop part of it in the hole I just dug in front of the barn. You don't have to cut back perennials before you divide them, but I thought it would make it easier in this case because, well, this burnet is taller than me. I didn't cut back the entire plant because, being lazy, I thought I'd dig out half of the plant and just replant that half. Obviously, this wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Normally, you dig out the entire perennial and then divide it when you see the roots. But then you have two halves to replant, and in my mind, I'd save both time and energy by just having one half to replant. This, however, was not a great idea. I've definitely damaged some of the roots, and now I have to keep all fingers and toes crossed that both halves of this great burnet will survive. Like always, give it a good chunk of water and make sure it's nice and snug in its new home. Let's clear up some dead and diseased foliage before leaving the spot. This will help prevent any pests or fungal issues from overwintering in the garden. It's always satisfying to see the garden tidied up, but there's one thing that's missing here, and that, of course, is a plant. I have no idea what to plant here in front of this border. Do you have any suggestions? I'd like something that's hardy, has a long flowering window, and that the pollinators enjoy. Speaking of pollinators, let's see how the cut flower garden is looking. Lo and behold, there are blooms to be picked. It's quite gratifying to be able to put together a simple fresh bouquet, and I can't believe I'm able to do so in the final weeks of October. I mean, death is kind of starting to take a hold of the garden. But look at these little beauties. The snapdragons never got around to blooming, but we still have a few cosmos, calendula, and the beautiful aroma of the tangerine gem. This is not the most impressive of bouquets, but it still brings a gentle smile to my face. Let's share it with the pollinators and place it outdoors. Time has come to remove the water pump system for the season, and it's apparent it's not been working in all beds. And here's the reason. I remove all of the pipes and seat hoses and organize them so that I know which ones go to the beds on the left and which ones belong to the beds on the right. I give them a clean, make sure to empty them of remaining water, and hang them to dry in the basement before putting them away in storage. It's important to disconnect everything before it freezes, especially here in Sweden, where winter can come early. The solar-powered pump does not do well in freezing temperatures. It too will need a little tidying up before getting stored away during the winter months. Now we're left with a few bare beds. This year, I'm going to cover them with cardboard and unbleached paper instead of with fabric that I've previously used. The cardboard and paper will protect the soil over winter, while also preventing weeds from taking over. Hopefully, they should decompose by spring, thereby enriching the soil with carbon. Autumn wouldn't be autumn without planting spring bulbs. Today I'm popping some narcissus tulips and crocus bulbs in front of the barn and in the flower corner in the kitchen garden. The rule of thumb is to dig a hole that is 3 times the size of the bulb you're going to plant. In depth, that is. Here's a bulb, with the bottom facing up. The sprouted tip should be pointed upwards like so when placed into the ground. I do not water the bulbs after planting them because it can cause them to rot. I like dispersing them around the bed in no particular order to provide an element of surprise and a mix of color and variation. Planting bulbs can be quite a laborious task if you have a lot of them, but I like thinking of it as burying little treasures. Come spring, they'll be the first to bloom, and I'll be just as surprised to see what pops up. 'Cause, let's face it, I will have forgotten what I planted and where I planted it. There's one corner of the kitchen garden that needs tending to. Let's have a look at what's going on with the paprika. These little guys are holding on for dear life. Nature always surprises me. According to the neighbors, there's been frost in the mornings, and nightshades and frost do not go hand in hand. It's always bittersweet to say goodbye to the summer crops. The cucumbers had a bit of a tough start, but they sure had a mighty comeback. They've definitely done their job for the season. Now it's time to clear them and the tomatoes out. If I had a compost bin, these would be going straight in. Instead, I'll save the soil from their pots for later. I can reuse the soil to fill in gaps and borders next year. You don't need to remove the roots. It's actually good to let them be because they are surrounded by and attract microbes that are good for the soil quality. There's nothing like the sun's warming autumnal rays, much appreciated when spending a full day outdoors. This year, I've decided to try something new, but it will be at least a year until I can tell you if it works or not. By gathering up all the fallen leaves, I can, as the saying goes, kill two birds with one stone. Not only will things look a little tidier, but I can now make some leaf compost by leaving the leaves in jute bags outdoors. It's a very long and slow process, but hopefully these leaves will become rich black gold for the garden next year. One of the bags isn't entirely full, so I'm leaving it in the basement for now so I can fill it up later. The other bag will be placed outdoors. And that's all, folks, for the autumnal garden tasks this year. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you've enjoyed the little glimpse into my garden. Until next time, take care, and may your garden always surprise you in the best way possible.